In the heart of the quiet town of Millfield stood the Ashen house, an old abandoned mansion shrouded in mystery. It was said that anyone who ventured too close could hear the faint echo of eerie, childlike laughter. Built in the early 1800s, the house had once been a grand estate, but it had long since fallen into disrepair, its windows dark and its timbers groaning under the weight of countless winters.
Stories of the mansion had intrigued me for years, and I'm certain that there is more to it than mere local legend.
Evelyn Harper, a journalist with a penchant for the paranormal, arrived in Millfield one rainy afternoon, determined to uncover the truth behind the Ashen house. With her camera and tape recorder in hand, she set off towards the mansion. As she approached the house, Evelyn couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. The wind howled through the trees, carrying with it the scent of decay. Pushing open the creaking iron gate, she stepped onto the overgrown path leading to the front door. Each step seemed to echo louder than the last in the oppressive silence. The door, despite its age, swung open with surprising ease. Inside, the air was thick and stale, and dust particles danced in the beams of her flashlight. The hallways were lined with old portraits whose eyes seemed to follow her as she moved through the dilapidated mansion. The furniture was covered in white sheets, ghostly shrouds in the dim light. Evelyn set up her equipment in the foyer, placing her tape recorder on an old ornate table.
Starting with the ground floor, I began my exploration.
As she moved from room to room, she noted the distinct sense of dread that seemed to emanate from the walls. It was as if the very house was alive, its creaks and groans the whisper of some unseen presence. In the library, she found a door concealed behind a bookcase. Curiosity getting the better of her, she pushed it open and descended a narrow staircase into the depths of the mansion. The basement was even darker, the air colder.
What secrets lie hidden down here?
It was there, among the cobwebs and crumbling stone, that she found an old journal. Its pages were yellowed and brittle, filled with the desperate scrawls of a man named Thomas Willoughby, the last known owner of the Ashen house.
His final entry spoke of his daughter, Annabel, who had vanished without a trace. He had searched every corner of the mansion, but all he ever found were echoes of her laughter, growing fainter each day until there was nothing but silence. He ended the journal with a chilling plea, "Beware the shadows, they swallow the light."
As she stepped through the door into the library, she heard it for the first time, a soft, childlike giggle echoing through the halls.
She froze, listening as the laughter grew louder, seemingly coming from all directions at once.
Gathering her courage, she followed the sound, her flashlight beam cutting through the gloom.
It led her to the grand staircase, where she saw a shadowy figure dart up the steps.
She followed, adrenaline pumping through her veins.
At the top of the stairs, she saw the silhouette of a little girl standing at the end of the hallway.
Her dress was tattered, and her hair hung limply around her pale face.
Evelyn called out to her, but the girl turned and vanished into the darkness.
Suddenly, the house seemed to come alive.
Doors slammed shut and the walls began to shake.
The laughter turned into anguished wails, and Evelyn found herself paralyzed with fear.
The realization hit her like a cold wave. She was not alone in the mansion.
The spirits of the past were very much present, and they were angry. Desperate to escape, she ran back to the foyer only to find the front door locked tight.
No matter how hard she pulled, it wouldn't budge.
The laughter returned, louder and more menacing, echoing off the walls and seeping into her soul.
Her tape recorder, still on the table, clicked on by itself, capturing the cacophony of ghostly sounds filling the room.
In her panic, she remembered the concealed door in the library.
Racing back down into the basement, she hoped to find another way out. The flashlight flickered and went out, plunging her into darkness. But as she reached the bottom of the stairs, the temperature dropped drastically.
The silence was